Ask HN. How do you manage UI UX for your side projects? A lot of engineers have the mentality of engineering is hard, but design is just whatever. Some color matching and styling. I'll probably be downvoted, but here's my honest opinion. I think you'll gain a lot career-wise to learn about UX and UI. You'll be able to understand products in a deeper level from the customer side and will then be able to make better decisions as an engineer. You'll also have a much easier time working with designers and PMs. And, of course, your projects will feel and look great. IMHO. The biggest bang for the buck you could learn is visual hierarchy. That is, the same way you divide your code in modules and functions. You need to divide the visual space in a clear hierarchy. Basics on typography. It makes a big difference even if most people don't notice it. Understanding what's UX. That is, reading don't make me think. Just caring and thinking about UX will improve designs, even if you don't have much experience. Basic of color theory. How different colors mean different things. Branding wise or for alerts errors warning. Reading material design from Google is a great start. You may not like the UI of it, but the UX and explanations of why things are this way are really interesting. I stick with a few basic guidelines. Sketch out the idea on literal paper before committing it to working code. Paper is so much easier to get working. Borrow visually from other sites that I like and have similar intent. I don't have the time on side projects to go crazy breaking new UX ground. And users probably don't want that anyway. Keep the idea simple and uncluttered. Maybe a specialist could get away with fancy stuff, but I'm not a specialist. Try to offload functionality into the backend. If I can simplify the user experience by making the backend more intelligent, I do it. Be very cautious about introducing technical complexity. Usually for side projects, I have a specific goal I want to achieve and limited time in which to achieve it. I'd rather not spend that time messing around with some fancy framework, unless I'm convinced I need it to satisfy my goal. Reuse from my other work. There are a lot of aspects of, say, a website that don't have to be uniquely redone for each. So it might quickly become cost effective to factor out something like a log and flow UX, and has the benefit of offering some degree of consistency across projects. I'm a UX designer and a professor in HCI. It looks like there is still a lot of confusion between UX and UI. UX is not just what concerns the interface. UX is a process with different phases. An exploratory phase, where the designer interviews the stakeholders, analyzes the current product if it is a redesign, makes a benchmark of the competing products and services. A research phase, where the designer involves actual or potential users to understand their needs, goals, their knowledge, their behaviors. She does interviews, observations, and uses methods like the laddering, the free listing, the card sorting, the task analysis and so on. The raw results of the research are documented in a number of deliverables: persona, scenarios, customer journeys, experience maps, conceptualizations, taxonomies and navigation trees. The research is translated into the design of the product, producing wireframes or low fidelity prototypes, designing the macro and the micro information architecture, the interaction, the navigation. A design system should be adopted and or developed, identifying the components, the colors, the typography, the tone of voice. A high fidelity prototype applies the design system to the low fidelity prototypes. Everything should be tested with the users in different moments. Competitive testing, to test the competitors' products. Exploratory testing. Confirmatory testing. Prototypes should also be evaluated to verify the conformity to the standards and to the design system style guides. This is UX design. Different experts will describe it in slightly different ways, but the structure remains the same. I'm obviously aware that this process would be a big effort for a side project, but it's very important to keep in mind that this is the right approach, and in the long run, the process will decrease the risk of failure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see more.